School Days is an anime that is more infamous than famous. It is often described as the worst anime ever made, and after watching it for myself, I can confirm that to be true, or at least partially. But aside from why that is, this video will explain why School Days is so frowned upon, and why just the name of this anime can stir emotions as powerful as it does. And of course, should you or should you not watch this abomination of an anime? School Days is an anime that follows a seemingly normal visual novel story. A basic protagonist, Makoto, is interested in a girl from the next class, Kotonoha. And when I say interested, I mean it in the worst way possible. Just a horny guy taking her pictures on the train kind of interested. With the help of a female classmate, Sekai, and her matchmaking skills, he manages to start dating Kotonoha, failing to realize Sekai's feelings for him. For the first 3 episodes, nothing seems wrong. It's just a bit anime cringy and a bit slow. But at the end of episode 3, things start going downhill. And that's because Makoto decides that dating Kotonoha is just too much of a hassle, and so he gets with Sekai instead, as it seems to be a lot easier to get into her pants. And you might think that breaking up with his girlfriend and getting with another one is not the most gentlemanly thing to do, but whatever. Who are we to tell this guy how to live his life? But that's not what happens. Makoto doesn't break up with Kotonoha, he just avoids her as much as he can, and anytime she manages to talk to him, he is avoidant, cold and vague. Then, all of their classmates start wondering what's going on, and under that pressure, Kotonoha, being too naive and innocent to grasp the situation, slowly starts losing her mind. Turns out a bunch of other girls like or are sexually interested in Makoto, so by episode 11, this guy has slept with half of the girls in his year. So after getting his body count into the double digits, while still dating Sekai, our little Mr. Protagonist decides to get back with Kotonoha, who by now is just a shell of a human being. Then, let's just say, Sekai doesn't take these news very well. So she repays him with a nice stab into the abdomen. You know, who would have thought that when you fuck around, you're gonna find out. If you haven't watched this anime, I don't think you can comprehend how ecstatic I felt during that scene. I literally jumped off my bed and started dancing because of the joy I have felt. Man, what a good ending. Character-wise, this anime is nothing special. Just a few emotionally unstable girls, and a man who thinks more with his crotch than with his brain. But damn is his manhood bad at making good decisions. Oh yeah, I nearly forgot. If you haven't had enough on why Makoto is a bad person, here's some more. Firstly, this man has no backbone. It's not that he doesn't have a moral compass, he doesn't even seem to know what a moral compass is. And instead of trying to be compassionate, he only thinks of getting himself out of the uncomfortable situations, which in reality are all his fault anyways. And his attempt to redeem himself in the last episode, because he finally realized what a bastard he was, just for his attempt to end in vain. Oh man, do I love it. So knowing all of this, should you or should you not watch School Days? I believe you should. And don't worry, I haven't gone insane yet. I'll explain why. But as crazy as this will sound, there is a brighter side to School Days. For one, it tells a more realistic story than your average harem. Instead of all the girls fighting over Makoto or going the hentai route and deciding to share, the girls experience and are shaken by Makoto's repeated betrayals. The more naive ones go insane, and the more unstable ones turn to violence. And I'd say rightfully so. Yeah, there is an argument that Makoto is the victim in this scenario. You know, just your everyday man who found himself in a peculiar situation and decided to abuse it as much as he could. Did he even deserve what he got? Yeah, he did. And if not for sleeping with a bunch of girls just to gratify himself, then for what he has done to Kotonoha. She is probably the most thoughtful and good-natured character in the anime. And aside from Makoto betraying her trust, the biggest reason for her going insane is her kindness and naivety. To watch School Days is to see an irredeemable character like Makoto dig his own grave, as this unrealistic setup unfolds in a very realistic way. Who would have thought that people don't exactly appreciate being betrayed and cheated on? Another lesson you can take from school days is to consider the ramifications of your actions instead of thinking with your dingaling. You know, looking back, after my emotions have settled a bit, my opinion of school days has shifted quite a bit. While watching this anime, I had this gut feeling telling me to stop watching, because I knew how fucked up this anime gets. If I went blind into it, I would most likely drop it, because before the anime goes downhill, it's a bit boring. But in retrospection, the anime is just okay. And even though the ending is the best one this war crime of an anime could have got, that doesn't excuse me having to sit through one of the most despicable seasons of anime ever. As a visual novel adaptation, the production chose probably the worst ending the game had in stock. And if for this reason you decide not to watch this anime, please do not disregard the whole series. Aside from the anime, there are a few games and a manga. I can't tell you if they're any good, but what if? Well, either way, thank you for listening to my TED Talk, and that's it for today.